Jessy's body rises up without her being able to do anything. She is terrified. For Jessy, a 17-year-old girl, that line between sleep and wakefulness has become dangerously blurred. And tonight, something terrible is about to cross her path. Night falls on Jessy's quiet neighborhood. The moon, hidden behind a thick layer of clouds, barely illuminates the empty streets. Inside the 2-story house, the silence is broken only by the soft ticking of an antique clock in the hallway. In the master bedroom, Jessy sleeps next to her mother, Marcy. A few months ago, Jessy began to suffer from such intense night terrors that Marcy decided that sleeping together might calm her anxiety. Jessy, with a serene face under the dim light of the bedside lamp, seems to be at peace at last. Marcy watches her for a moment, her heart filled with a mixture of love and concern, before turning off the light and drifting off to sleep. But in Jessy's mind, the calm is only the prelude to the storm. Her dream begins in a familiar place, her own living room. Everything seems normal, the furniture in its place, the family photos on the walls, but a feeling of unease hangs in the air, a tension you can almost touch. Suddenly, a sound breaks the silence. A dry crack, like a branch snapping. It's coming from the back door. Jessy, in her dream, gets up from the sofa and walks slowly toward the kitchen, her heart pounding against her ribs. Through the glass of the door, he sees a dark, hunched figure. It's Jacob, a homeless man she sometimes sees near the train station, a man whose empty gaze has always given her chills. In the dream, panic takes hold of her. Jacob forces the lock with unsettling dexterity. The metallic click echoes in the stillness of the night, like a gunshot. The door opens with a slow, agonizing creak. Jacob enters the house. His movements are erratic, almost inhuman. His bloodshot eyes scan the room with predatory intensity. He whispers her name. Jessy. His voice is a guttural growl, a sound that seems to crawl from the deepest depths of hell. Jessy tries to scream, but no sound comes out of her throat. She is paralyzed, a prisoner in her own nightmare. Meanwhile, in the real world, Marcy tosses and turns in bed. She feels an inexplicable cold, a draft that shouldn't be there. She opens her eyes and sees that the bedroom door is slightly ajar, even though she is sure she closed it. She gets up and, as she looks down the corridor, her blood runs cold. The back door of the house is wide open, letting in the cold night breeze. Panic washes over her. How is this possible? She runs to check the lock. It's not forced, but the security chain hangs broken, as if someone had ripped it from the wall with brutal force. Back in the dream, Jacob climbs the stairs. Each step creaks under his weight, a macabre rhythm that accompanies Jessy's frantic heartbeat. She backs away, trying to get to her room, but her legs feel like lead. Jacob reaches the end of the hallway and stops in front of her. A crooked smile distorts his dirty face, revealing broken and yellowed teeth. He raises a trembling, kind hand toward her. Come with me. The terror is absolute, a black wave that threatens to consume her. It is at that moment, at the peak of panic, that Jessy finally finds her voice and screams. Jessy's scream jolts her awake, but the sound isn't just in her mind. Marcy hears it. It's a real scream, sharp and full of terror, coming from upstairs. Jessy? Jessy? Marcy shouts, running upstairs, her mind imagining the worst. Has someone come in? The man from the door. But when he bursts into the room, there's no one there. Just Jessy, sitting on the bed, breathing heavily, with her eyes wide open and fixed on a point in the room. Mom, Jessy whisper, her voice trembling. He was here. Jacob. He was right here. Marcy hugs her tightly, trying to calm her down. It was a nightmare, honey. Just a very real nightmare. But as she says this, her eyes rest on the floor next to the bed. There, on the light-colored carpet, are a series of footprints in fresh, dirty mud. Footprints that weren't there before. Footprints leading from the door to the place where Jessy says the man was standing. Marcy feels a chill run down her spine. It can't be. It just can't be. The following days are torture for Jessy. Fear has become her shadow. Every creak in the house makes her jump. Every shadow in the periphery of her vision makes her hold her breath. She no longer sleeps. She spends her nights awake, with the light on, reading or watching movies until exhaustion overcomes her for a few brief moments. But even in those short lapses of sleep, nightmares haunt her. Fragmented visions of Jacob, of dark corridors that stretch to infinity, of bony hands that grasp her in the darkness. During the day, she tries to act normal, but her friends notice the dark circles under her eyes and her constant nervousness. Marcy, meanwhile, is desperate. He took her to a psychologist, who diagnosed post-traumatic stress and prescribed mild sedatives, but the pills do nothing to stop the horrors that visit her at night. Marcy even installed a new security system, with cameras and motion sensors. But nothing can protect Jessy from the monsters that live inside her own mind. A week after the incident, exhausted and desperate for sleep, Jessy decides to take 2 of the sedatives instead of 1, hoping that a stronger dose will finally grant her a dreamless rest. She curls up in bed, exhaustion finally winning the battle against fear. He falls into a deep sleep, descending into an abyss of unconsciousness. This time, there are no dreams. There is no Jacob. There are no dark hallways. Only a silent black emptiness. Marcia, relieved to see her sleeping so peacefully, kisses her forehead and goes to her own room, praying that the worst is over. The hours pass. The house is silent. Suddenly, in Jessy's room, something strange begins to happen. The sheets covering her begin to move, as if an invisible force were lifting them. Slowly, in an unnatural way, Jessy's body begins to rise from the bed. Her arms and legs hang limp. Her hair floats around her head like a dark halo. He climbs higher and higher, defying all laws of physics, until his body is suspended in the air, just a few centimeters from the ceiling. She remains there, floating in the silence of the night, her face tranquil in a dreamless sleep. The first ray of morning sunlight filters through the window. Jessy's alarm clock rings, filling the room with a cheerful melody. The sound jolts her out of her deep sleep. She opens her eyes slowly, feeling strangely rested, but also disoriented. The view she receives is not that of her pillow or the wall next to her bed. She is looking down. Down below, she sees her bed, perfectly made, but empty. She sees her desk, her chair, her rug. She's looking down at her room. A stifled scream escapes her lips as a cold, paralyzing terror completely engulfs her. She's not in her bed. She's floating near the ceiling. The nightmare isn't over. It's only just beginning. And this time, there's no way to wake up. Subscribe and comment. Have you ever wanted to wake up but couldn't?